everyone, and welcome. This is Alex here. I'm Advice by Alex. I want to thank you very much for stopping by and giving me a listen to. And if you like this channel, I ask that you hit the subscribe button and the like button with the little bell for all the notifications of when I go live. And of course, whenever I upload a new video as well. And I want to thank you very much for stopping by and giving me a listen to. And just a couple of announcements before we get started with the video as well is that if you would like to purchase a reading with me, you can always do so on my Etsy shop at Angel Soul Blessings 777. Again, that is Angel Soul Blessings 777 on Etsy. And of course, if you would like to get the June podcast special of the month, it is the What You Need to Know for Love. For June of 2026, angel messages, and that special will be for $60, and you get an overview of the energy, and you can ask what is coming either up for love, or you can ask about a certain person as well. And then, of course, you can ask 3 questions along with that as well. So it's more of a package kind of a reading as well, which is why the price is $60. So if you would like to take advantage of that, you can do so. And if you'd also like to submit a free question for the podcast, I'll leave that link in the description box below as well. Today we're going to be doing the weekly angelic messages for love and romance for the week of June 1st, 2026. Again, that'll be for the week of June 1st, 2026. So, that is where that is at. So, so let us go ahead here with the reading as well. So let us sit back, relax, and enjoy the messages that are coming up for love and romance, which is my favorite thing to talk about. But anyway, this is the second tarot for the heart by John Holland, and then there are the card deck here. So we'll go ahead and draw some cards, and then we'll have a moment of silence while we connect energetically for love and romance for the week. Alright, so what does everybody need to know in regard for love and romance for the week of June 1st, 2026. What does everybody need to know for love and romance for the week of June 26? Okay. Not wanting to come out. Oh, there we go. Okay. 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 So let us go ahead here with the moment of silence. At this time, I ask that you have your feet firmly planted on the ground, have your heart wide open to be able to receive the angel messages that you're going to be receiving for love and romance. Have your heart wide open to be able to receive them. Light a white candle to surround yourself in God's white light, and ask your spiritual team at this time to be able to deliver the messages that you need to hear in regard to love and romance as well. And we'll go ahead here with a moment of silence, and while I connect, but before that, we'll go ahead and just kind of get into the flow of the reading by moving our bodies a little bit, getting into the right mind frame, and everything like that, kind of moving it about, energetically allowing ourselves to open to receive the messages in regard to love and romance for the week. All right. So as I also give my sign, or as I give my speech to you, that is also my sign. As I give my speech to you, that is my sign of spirit that I'm ready to work. And we'll go ahead with a moment of silence here. We'll take a few deep breaths in and breathe out, and then we'll go into that moment of silence. So go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in again and out. So let me go ahead with the moment of silence while I connect even further energetically for the messages of the week. Okay, so right away when I'm tuning into the energies of the week is that I'm really feeling that there is a lot of anxiety as well for love and romance for this week. I feel like it kind of correlates with the overall messages of the week that we are in our heads a lot in regard to love and romance for this week. But I am really feeling that with when I was tuning in energetically is that I feel like we're trying to figure out the next steps in regard to the connection that we have with our person, um, whether PY, old person, new person, soulmate, twin flame, all that good stuff right there. But it is where we are trying to figure out the next steps. So we are contemplating. I feel like this is, again, going along with the messages that we have um, for the weekly, but this is where I feel like this is where it leads to that confusion because I feel like a lot of us were confused on what to do. I feel like the image that was coming into my mind when I was tuning in energetically for the week was that we're making out the issue to be bigger than what it is. So, whatever action step you need to take, we're making it a much bigger thing than it actually needs to be. And I actually need to hear this message myself because it's very true. So, I feel like we're trying to figure out how to approach our person. So I feel like energetically, it's like a lot of us are holding back to our own fears and insecurities. And I feel like that's kind of like where this week is leading into that healing portion in regard to allowing ourselves to not be afraid to take that leap and everything of that nature. So, whether it is wanting to ask someone out on a date and you're trying to figure out how, you'll know how to do it in the right moment. It will come up very naturally. Um, and you'll know when the timing is right and everything like that. So um, I just keep seeing like images of like movies and shows that I have watched where the guy is into the girl or vice versa and they're trying to get together but and go out with the person but neither of them is making the move and it's kind of very similar to what this energy is for this week. What kind of move are you going to make for the love and romance, you know? Nothing's going to happen if we just sit on our tushy and everything like that. And kind of like what I am learning is that, yes, I like the old concept of, for me, the guy asking me out. I'm very old school in that. And I feel like I just grew up in that mentality, and that's probably where I get that mentality from. But I'm learning that sometimes, in order to get things done, it's where you have to have the courage and step up on your end to be able to ask, because they may be waiting for you, and vice versa. So, however it is in your situation. So, that's kind of like this feeling. It's kind of like this very tiptoeing around the bush kind of feeling, in regarding to whatever situation that you're going through, in regard to love or romance, for this week, and everything of that nature. So that's kind of like the energy wise of what I'm feeling, in regard to that. So I feel like we'll go ahead here with the card portion. I feel like other messages will come up, but those were kind of the overview of what I was feeling right away. So we also have is helpless and hopeless. So I feel like we are creating the worst case scenarios when we haven't even done anything. And I feel like this is very much like a high school like thing of like, even though it's different than high school, it's like kind of has that same mentality of high school or grade school, better yet. Like when you like somebody, when you like that boy or girl, way back when in grade school or middle school or however you wanted to do it, and you wanted to go out with them or be with them on a date and things like that. It is very much where you're very much afraid of approaching, and then in turn, you're feeling alone in the process. So we don't know what to do. Um, um, we're not allowing that joy. So we're so nervous, and I get it. And it can be very intimidating to be joyful or be assertive in this matter. Especially when you really have strong feelings for somebody, it's like, and you want to be with them. It's just like, and that kind of correlates with our fear of rejection and abandonment. So, kind of healing those core wounds maybe for this week will be very beneficial, for us in order to, be able to have the courage to be able to take that action step, and everything like that. So, um, that is very much the energy that I'm very much feeling. I mean, I totally get it. It's very nerve wracking to express your emotions, to somebody because you don't know what to expect. But I feel like a lot of us have that worst case scenario, and everything like that. So, um, but yeah, so that is very much there. We also have here is awaiting results, and that is, where we're just kind of waiting on things to happen, but nobody is making a move. Even though the chemistry is there, the, electricity is there between the both people, it is where nobody is making a move. And in order to get things to come together, one of us has to make a move. Am I not right? So, yeah, I had no idea this was going to be a pep talk for myself, but you know what I mean? And everything like that. So, but my, our teams always know what we need at this time, so, and this very much fits in with the energy. So, it's just breathe. The other person does like you, and they have feelings for you. Why are we so worried about it? So, there wouldn't be that acceptance of you if they were not having feelings. Um, there wouldn't be that like, into you like kind of thing, you know? So, but yeah, so that is very much there. So we also have is sadness and isolation. So I feel like this is going back to that helpless and hopeless card. Feeling alone in the process. And that loneliness card that we pulled in the other reading. If you haven't checked it out, go do so. for the weekly. But very much there, we don't have to be afraid, or we don't have to be feeling alone in this process. So, and that is learning to work through the loneliness as well. So, learning to work through that. I feel like a lot of us get used to loneliness, and then when someone comes in where we want to be with them, it is that adjustment period where you have to, especially if they are treating in the way that you want to be treated. In my situation and everything like that, it's like an adjustment period because you're not used to that kind of level of care. And it's understandable because we have to work through our trauma and shit to be able to get things done. I know I swore, but it's like we gotta work through that. All the junk. And everything like that. So that way we are ready. So, yeah, so some good things to explore for this week, and what better way to do so during the full moon energy that we have going on and everything like that. So, yeah. So we also have a strengthening bond. So allowing the bond will continue between the both of you. So your person and you will strengthen. So this is just a validation that things are moving and grooving in the right direction. And it's okay to be cautious and take things slow, but not super slow where nothing ever happens. And everything like that. So the overall here is that we have is healing again. So again, a very much healing theme for this week. Healing the feelings of defeat. So not allowing yourself to feel defeated before anything ever happens. So that is very much very true. And everything like that. So that is there. And we also have here is confront. So facing our shadow head on for this week to be able to have that courage for when we are around our person, that we can take some leap of faith. And then you never know, the timing might be right now to do so. So, yeah, so that is very much there with those cards. Now on to the fun stuff, which is the Love and Romance deck. Hello, one of my favorite decks, you know. Yep. So, the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. Very old school, but I absolutely love that deck. So, it's one of my favorites. What can I say? I'm a romantic at heart, you know. So, what does everybody need to know for the week of June 1st? Ooh, okay. Interesting. I'm going to have a clarification on one of them. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So we have here is reconciliation. Someone from your past is coming to your life. And remember when we have soulmate, twin flame, POIs, all the good stuff, is where we all know them from the past. We've all been around the block quite a few times. So whether in past lives or in current lives, is where we know from one another. This is not our first rodeo together and everything like that. So it's kind of like a reunion and everything like that. Or right now, even if we are currently not with them, it may be where we are going to be reconnecting. So some parts are going to be reconnecting either this week or going into next week. So, because things will continue once we do the healing work, and then it will expand. So definitely time for some healing work for me, for this week as well. So, that is there. We also have here is religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So, this is always talking about, yes, our religious path could have influenced us on love and romance, and um, especially if it's like a different situation that you normally would have been in, thinking about from when you were growing up in the religious household, especially if in regard to like LGBTQ relationships, and can definitely very well influence how you go about it, especially growing up in that environment. But it can also be where just talking about where we have different backgrounds. So we all have come from different backgrounds. We have different upbringings. Knowing that our past does influence um, how we interact with that person. So we have to have a little bit of understanding and a little bit of compassion in regard to that as well. So we also here have is unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. I don't necessarily feel that with the connection that is being presented for this week, because I said at the beginning that there is the chemistry, there is that electricity between everybody. I feel like this is all about making things work and everything like that. So I feel like this is going in where we have to be able to fight for who we love, and everything like that. So be willing to put in the work, and everything like that. So remember, love does take work and everything like that. So it's not going to be easy peasy all the time, and everything like that. So, and sometimes we don't always have all the answers when it comes to love, and everything like that. And that's okay if we don't have the answers. But knowing that love is there, love is real, and the love between you and your person is real. It is just where neither of you is stepping up that right now. And that's kind of like what it is that it's talking about. Not so much where the unrequited part is, although for some it might be where, yes, that you're not meant to be with the person that you're thinking about, but that's for a small majority. But I feel like on a much grander scale, like, I feel like the majority of us are meant to be with the person that we are thinking about, and everything like that. So, and it's just where we have to put in the effort, and that effort takes time to build and everything like that. So, we also here have, along with that, the pay attention to red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Not necessarily in a bad way, as one might think. It's just where kind of taking a cautious approach to getting to the heart of the matter in regard to this person. So I feel like it's just where there are things that may cause them to delay in moving forward. Because everybody has a past, as we were talking about, and it's just them trying to figure out what it is that they want. So I feel like that both of you are in that space of what you want out of the relationship or the connection that you have with this person. So it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So you gotta think: are you the one that's holding yourself back, or are they? So if it's you that's holding yourself back, you gotta question yourself of why you're holding yourself back. Getting to the heart of the matter of the shadow work in regard to that. because once you open your heart, it is where you will be ready to move forward, and everything like that. So, and trust me, when you have that process going through, and happened to me like 2 weeks ago, where I had so much underlying shadow work going on that I was like fast tracking through, that before I came to the conclusion that I love the person that I currently want to be with, it is where I had to go through that shadow work period. Um, and then the realization hit me, and everything like that. So, but yeah. So the next card here is that we have is deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. So sometimes this is where a third party is involved, but in this case, I don't really feel like a third party in this situation for this week. I'm really feeling like it's more due to fears. And I feel like letting go of fears and letting go of ego is very much important. And I feel like that is where that energy is coming from, where there's that hesitation to move forward. It's just where we gotta let go of the ego and allowing the soul to work through the ego, or allowing the soul to do the talking. Because when we talk with our soul, we talk with our heart and everything like that. Because our soul is connected to our heart and everything of that nature. So, the overall here is that we have is stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So, keep having the positive thoughts. Manifestation. This is all about the manifestation, living in the now and the joy, continuing to do what you love in process, not forgetting about who you are, is another key, and not trying to not trying to change yourself for another person. So allowing yourself to be authentic to yourself, and I feel like that is another message that was coming through in regard to the love and romance for this week. And of course, we have past life. We know this before. I said it at the beginning. This is just a validation, and you can't make this shit up. It is where we have past life. We've been with this person before, many times. So, not our first rodeo, like I said. And everything like that. So, that is very exciting. And everything of that nature. So, we'll go ahead and draw some shadow work cards for the love and romance, because I feel like we need to work through our shadow work for love and romance for this week. So, what does everybody need to know for love and romance for June 1st? What does everybody need to know for love and romance for June 1st, 2026? Okay. So, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but needs denial, self-neglect, resentment, inner depletion. So, what do we need in the relationship? What do we want out of the relationship? Those are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves, and be honest with ourselves in regard to the connection, and everything of that nature. So, yeah, we need to ask ourselves the why. What is it that we're missing? And that could also play into factor along with everything else that we've been talking about. So the next one is control loop. Micromanaging anxiety, fear of chaos. So I feel like for some of us, we are so used to needing that being in control, and having the cycles repeat that have been from the past, and we need to let go of those cycles and clear that karma, and where we need to allow ourselves to be open to love, allowing ourselves to let go of past and letting go of past expectations, especially when we know we are with the right person. Things are going to happen. Whether we are expecting them or not is where things will move forward, and everything like that. So some of us may be slow paced, some of us may be fast paced, depending on our signs, of course. Me being a Capricorn, I'm very slow moving, but when we are certain of something, we tend to move pretty quickly. It just kind of depends on the situation. But next is that you are worthy by being. Inherent value and enoughness identity. So you are worthy. You are deserving of love. You are deserving to love yourself. So know that you have to accept yourself for who you are. And the other person will also need to respect who you are as a person as well and accept you. And everything of that nature. So that is very much there. So I feel like for this one, we'll do some Archangel Raphael cards. Archangel Raphael by Doreen Virtue. What does everybody need to know at this time for love and romance for June 1st, the week of June 1st? Okay, so good night's sleep. So, dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me relax and sleep deeply, for I know that you are guiding, healing, and protecting me while I rest. So, allowing that sense of clarity while you sleep, and we can have dreams with this person as well. So, getting very vivid dreams as well with the person that we are with. And you may be having that conversation in your sleep, and when you're actually in the 3D world and you are together, then it can come together that way. So I'm definitely feeling that for a lot of us. We'll be having discussions with our people in our sleep. So next is that give us your cares. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, I'm willing to release any fears to you. Please allow me to completely let go so that you can fully guide me in this situation. So allowing God and your spiritual team to help with the situation, letting go of fear, and everything like that. So, and then also sobriety. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for adjusting any my cravings in the helpful directions, so that I only desire life-affirming foods and beverages. So, this is allowing ourselves to clear thinking. So, allowing ourselves to have that clear-mindedness, allowing ourselves to be open to the possibilities, and everything like that. So that is there. What was I gonna draw? I think I'll draw the Soul Lesson cards for Love and Romance by James Van Prague. And here we go. Alrighty, so what does everybody need to know for the week of June 1st? What does everybody need to know for the week of June 1st? Wow. Some of the same cards from the weekly came over, so I would watch the weekly as well. So we have is change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. So change is in the air. I feel like more positive energy with the change and everything like that. So definitely very much where that is at. We also hear it is have love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So love is all around us. And we just have to be open to receiving the love and everything like that. So the loneliness, I know that I'm never alone. So, um, even though we feel like we're alone in the process, we're never really alone. That loneliness is an illusion, and everything like that. So, kind of remembering that as well. And then we'll hear with the Soul Truth deck. We'll see what that has to say for this week. What does everybody need to know for love and romance for the week of June 1st? Ooh. What boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships? Wow. Very fitting. So, to create more healthy boundaries, we must first get in tune with our own needs, desires, and feelings, and believe we are worthy of them. In your relationships, it is essential to know where they end and where you begin. Today's sole action: when we separate our energy from others, we gain clarity about what we really want. Then we stop doing things that no longer align with ourselves. If you are an empath, you can still be compassionate toward others without taking on their stuff. It is safe to trust that you are not here to fix anyone. Today's mantra: I have everything I need within me now, and so do they. I'm worthy of my needs, and I set boundaries based on what's best for me. So, a beautiful, beautiful message as well. So, yeah, so that is definitely very much where that energy is, and everything like that. So that brings us to the end of the reading, everybody. I hope you definitely enjoyed the reading as well, and everything of that nature, and where we are having an excellent time in love and romance for this week. And if you like this channel, I ask that you hit the subscribe button with the little bell for all the notifications of when I go live, and of course, whenever I upload a new video as well. And of course, if you like the podcast special, What You Need to Know for Love for June, it is $60, so I'll leave that in the description as well. And it'll be on my Etsy shop when I upload it over there as well. And, but yeah, so that is very much there, and everything of that nature. And yeah, so if you would like to get that, you can, and you can visit me on my for a reading. You can visit me on my Etsy shop at Angel Soul Blessings 777, and then there you'll be able to get the messages or the readings as well that I have over there. I have a variety of whatever it is that you would like to get. And until next time, everybody, I'm sending you so much love, angel blessings, and I will talk with everybody later. Talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.